IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of TFG Indian Football Podcast. We are once again not in the studio because the FIFA Under-17 World Cup has kicked in and we are all traveling to different places. I will be going towards New Delhi by the time you're hearing this. And Siju, where will you be going?
Yeah, I'll be probably getting ready to go to the leave for the station. I'll be going to Kochi to watch the so-called Group of Death play in action.
Definitely, it's going to be one of the most interesting groups because Brazil and Spain are playing over there. Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin?
Out of the 6 venues, you all have already taken 2, so that leaves me with 4 choices.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with my favorite destination, that's Navi Mumbai. It's by the time that takes you all to reach Kochi and New Delhi, it also takes me the same time to reach from my home to CY Patil.
Definitely.
It's quite a travel for Kevin as well.
Yeah, and so we are going into this episode, we're going to talk about the Group A. Finally, we've covered all the groups. Where all the way back, we've worked our way up to Group A, where India is playing. And we will be also looking into the Indian national team squad. But first, we have some word from Stephen Constantine. Siju, what was that all about?
Yeah, I mean, in the backdrop of where a practice match was being held, that's where after the match was when the media interaction was with him, and he was keenly watching the English team and the New Zealand team in action at Mumbai Football Arena. But then he of course knows what he has in store because India is playing Macau in a crucial match on the 11th of October in Bengaluru. Where a win can definitely secure a spot in the Asian Cup. But that way, I mean, it can do much better if and he's all about saying that we need to win, and we have to win. It's an important, he's also mentioned saying it's an important step in the history. So I think it's a very crucial game, and the whole team is also wanting to give their best.
So let's listen from Stephen Constantine what he has to say.
No, we have 3 more games. But, the next game is Macau in Bangalore on the 11th. I think it's one of the most important games in our history for a long time, given the significance of if we manage to win this game, then we qualify for the Asian Cup, which will be, I think, a tremendous achievement for Indian football. The key behind the success is the work. The support from the Federation, Mr. Patel, all of these guys have supported the team even when we were going through the early stages. The whole purpose for me has always been to build a team for the future. It's what I do. It's how I think that we can sustain this. So we now have quite a strong core. One guy goes out, injury, another one can come in, and there's not too much loss in quality. So, and this was the purpose for me from the beginning, to try and build a team and build quality. And it takes time, and so we are in a position now where I think is the best position we've been for some time. So I hope that continues.
Looking to seal the deal at Bangalore?
Absolutely. It's in our hands, or our feet. We know the type of football that Macau will try to play. Pretty much what they did at home. They, as they say, park the bus. We will have to be patient. We will have to continue to do the hard work and then try to find somehow to unlock them. And hopefully we can do that.
How are the boys? They are the restless to go for the final kill, or you are still patient enough to...
Look, I think the boys know the importance of the game. I think they know what this could mean for them, for Indian football, and for everybody connected with Indian football. That includes you guys who have been supportive. It's just a big game, and we hope we can get the 3 points.
Last time you had said that 1,000% focus was on the game when we had met on the next game which India was playing. You will say the same thing for the game against Macau?
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Absolutely. We have to be. We can't afford to think of what happens after that. We have this game coming up. We need to win. We will do everything we can within our power to win that game, and after that we see what happens.
Any fitness worries?
No, not really. No, we're okay.
Team is all set and focused for the final.
Yeah, we have the Bangalore boys will come in tonight. Hopefully they are in good condition after their game. But we will see. But other than that, everyone is okay.
And like you have now 2 homes of Indian football. One is Mumbai and second is Bangalore. So which is your favorite?
My home is wherever the national team plays, so it doesn't matter where it is. We played in Assam also. So it's...
we played in Kochi, we played in
as long as we get the support.
Yeah. Coach, you spoke about the long-term development of the team and how at this score you have built a team which any player can be replaced. Going forward, how do you look at it? Do you think you have another set of 12, 15 you can build on?
Look, we have a group of players in the under-23s that I think 9, maybe 10 of them are here, which is a good sign. And of course, some of those have come from nowhere, from the scouting program that we put. So it's pleasing. I hope that the pathway is there for the 17s and 19s and so on. So we have to see that.
You spoke about the pathway for 17 and 19. Do you have a plan for this 17 and 19 games you are now playing?
Look, at the moment, no. I think that's something that we need to work on at the AIFF, where we have some continuity. And right now you brought up the under-17s. You give me the chance to wish the coach and the players all the best for this tough group they're in. Obviously, we wish them all the best and hope they get out the group.
But still the arrows are missing in our football development system?
Yeah, look, it was something that we proposed when I was here in 2002.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think 5 years later it came, but it has to be sustainable. And I think 1 or 2 of the players here are from the Arrows. So it's a great program. It's a great way to make sure that Indian players are consistently playing in our top league, which is what we want at the end of the day. I mean, you see the game before, there was one player who has already played for Manchester City. There's another one who is playing for Borussia Dortmund. He wasn't here, but he's coming. And that's, if they're good enough, they're old enough. We don't have to restrict them to the age groups. So how do you know if they're good enough? Well, you have to see them, you have to work with them, you have to bring them up, put them back down, bring them up, put them back down, like I've been doing with the under-23s.
So now the Center of Excellence has finally been proposed, and it's as the last stage, as said, after so many years. So exactly, so
15 as far as I can remember.
Okay, so what could be your very basic thought and philosophy for that?
My thought is bravo to the powers that be. The first thing I asked Mr. Patel when I first met him this time around, I said, "Sir, when are we going to have a national training centre?" I even asked Mr. Ambani. He asked me, "Do you need any help?" I said, "Yeah, build me a national training centre." Okay. So I'm pleased that it's been said besides someone else, not me. And there is actually a genuine effort for that. It's much needed.
Great. And lastly, about this Under-17 World Cup, who are your favourites apart from India?
Apart from England. Look, the thing with the Under-17 World Cup, one team can beat the other, because for me, technically, tactically, there should be not much difference between any of them, because they haven't had too much time to get away from each other. Yeah. So these England boys, the Brazilians, the Germans, the French, the Dutch, they will be playing in first teams next year, if not already. And so the under-20 is where they will see the consistency. I don't think at 17 it's easy to predict, because kids play brilliant one day, the next day they're not good. So I wouldn't like to predict. Of course, I want India to do well and qualify from the group at least. That would be a massive achievement. But they are in a very difficult group, and we will have to see. I mean, you see the level here. It's going to be tough.
But you have done quite a lot of work with under-17 boys also, so your SWOT analysis of that. So, or your strength or your impression about the team?
I had 1 week with them about 7 months ago. And there have been some changes and some from the scouting. We've brought 1 or 2 players in, so it's
the last one.
Yeah.
Well, that was the head coach of the senior national team, and not the under 17 that we're going to talk about. And finally, just as we said, we are finally excited. One, because of course we're talking after 3 days. I mean, talking about football on the podcast, and definitely looking into Group A in detail. Before that, a bit of thing that happened probably only concerns Brazil at the moment as a team, but also the fans that were looking forward to see the star kid, Vinicius Junior, in action. And the news is old, but we just want to spend the time that how all of this that a club performance can do to you, which can also make you not miss out on the senior national team action like your national team. And here he misses out on the World Cup because his club Flamengo didn't do well, so the coach is letting him go for the national team preparations. But I think an official word that we got, excuse the TFG, from the media manager of Brazilian team and the staff, of course, saying that the coach is disappointed, of course, about the whole way the club has performed, which has led to this decision of not letting him come to India and join Brazil. But at the same time, he's also very confident and fully has hope and fully has faith on the players that he has here at the moment. So I think there's nothing to worry. But then going ahead.
Does this also resemble the Devjit Majumdar case and Stephen Constntine issue?
Not really. Not really. That was a complete unfortunate situation.
I was just trying to be you, because sometimes you understand there has to be a Kolkata connection somewhere. So, just try to make up something. But anyways.
Well, I think that was that, and nevertheless, I think Brazil is still Brazil with the players that they have, and all the other teams are going to be exciting this tournament. Now let's finally talk about Group A, right, Ranjit and Kevin, where our dear country, the 21 boys from representing Indian national team, is going to be playing in Delhi along with USA, Colombia, and Ghana, the Group A. And crazy things, tough teams, tough group, but definitely India can learn a lot from these teams, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't know whether we will even win a game or get even 1 point out of this. Not to put down the boys, they will obviously play their hearts out. But yeah, we have to in the end see this as a learning experience. Doesn't matter what happens on the pitch. They just have to go out there and give their best and take away whatever lessons they can. Yeah.
It's difficult to stay away from reality, and the facts are right in front of us. Even if we want to tell ourselves that this is something that we have, the slightest hope to even come close to topping the group or even the second place, it's not really the case, because we are put in a group that has teams which have got much more experience than us, and they have been longer than us, and they know how to prepare well. So, one win is too much to ask. I would say let's hope for some good gameplay by the boys. We've only been playing a lot of friendlies, and that really doesn't give you an understanding how competitive we can be, because we hardly played any tournaments. Like not more than 3 tournaments that we've taken part in. So the exposure has helped us to shorten the big pool of players that we had, but it doesn't come close to fielding a competitive side that can give out even the best of results. So hopes are high as an Indian, but if you just look at the facts, we're not really there as a very fighting team in this group.
Well, we still have a chance to sort of just go out there and do our best and make a mark. Just looking at the kind of results that we have had over the last few, let's say, a couple of months when we have been playing preparatory matches all over the place. There was a point, even at the start of the year or towards the end of last year, we were getting beaten by everybody. Like we lost to China, we lost to Brazil last year in the BRICS Cup 3-1. Uruguay, Russia humiliated us. Estonia beat us. Iran beat us 1-0. Then we sort of made it, turn things around. We got a draw with Serbia and Macedonia. We got a draw with Chile. And we beat Mauritius. Although beating Mauritius is not that big of a deal, but a draw against Chile is something. A 3-0 fighting performance against Colombia is something. A goal scored against Mexico is something. These are not, obviously that you're not gonna win the tournament or whatever. But hey, you can go out and fight against these teams. We played. I think the most significant result is that we played Iran in January at the Granatkin Cup, and we lost 1-0. And Iran is the best team in Asia. Okay, so it's just these few things that we have to draw some leverage from, some confidence from. Obviously, United States. They reached the final of their continental championship. They lost to Mexico only by penalties. So they are close to being the best. Ghana, runners-up in the African Under-17 Cup of Nations. Yeah. Colombia, just look at this. Colombia beat us 3-0 in a preparatory game in Mexico a few months ago. And we have them playing in the South American Under-17 Football Championship earlier this year. They finished 4th, right? So these are we have drawn 3 very accomplished, dominant teams. Yeah, and you're gonna I don't know who to pick. People were saying maybe we'll beat Ghana. Or just beat Ghana, get a draw against Colombia, and suddenly we may be one of the best third teams, and we may get a chance to go to the second round. It's not out of the world, by the way. You play in an alien condition. You're half your team is still jet lagged, and you're gonna play Colombia, a very good team, and you're gonna lose 3-0. Then playing at home. Suddenly, a couple of months later, when you have figured them out a little bit more stylistically, maybe you can do better. And that was actually their first match, right, in Mexico, and they were jet lagged. So all of those things, you lose to a team 3-0 one day, next day you might just get a draw against them. So all of these things can still happen. We've heard that the tickets have sold out. I don't know what magic they did. Suddenly, within 2-3 days, all the tickets sold out in New Delhi, Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. Yeah, you have a full stadium when you're playing in front of your countrymen. These guys have never really had that platform to showcase their talents to their own countrymen before. And who knows how pumped up they will be? Who knows? Something happens. One of the midfielders. Who was the midfielder who scored 8 goals in 30 appearances? Komal Satal. Yeah, comes out and just gets a couple of freak goals in. Suddenly we are talking. So yeah.
I think about the fans getting sold out. I think that brings us to this thing that is being started up now, which goes under the name Blue Pilgrims.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. This is a great initiative, I think, taken by the collective. I think, should we give credit to this man who is taking the whole initiative ahead?
Yeah, Wasim Ahmed, West Block Blues, one of the founders, I think. And Bengaluru FC fan. He has been talking about this for a while. They were targeting the Under-17 World Cup to launch this thing. So the reason I'm on board with this is that he and the other people who are working on this, they want it to be beyond any club identity. Okay, so doesn't matter if you're an East Bengal fan, Mohun Bagan fan, Kerala Blasters fan, Northeast United fan, FC Goa fan. Doesn't matter, man. This is just for nobody's gonna bring their.
What we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same that we do for senior national team as well, and this is something bigger than that at the moment.
And this spans everything. This is going to be there for the senior national team as well when they're playing for Asian Cup Qualifiers. So it's gonna be pan India, and they're gonna try to travel outside India as well. So this is great. I hope everybody just forms this association and takes this initiative forward, because I can take this coming from West Block Blues. Okay, like obviously it's not a West Block Blues thing, but these group of individuals have been doing some good work earlier as well. Like they did that bed for traveling fans. Yeah. So like nobody has done this before in India. You just, some strangers are coming to your city to see your team, and you're gonna just open up your house for them. That's laudable, and they're doing it again. So brilliant. I hope this blossoms.
Yeah. Kevin, your thoughts on this?
No, really. This is what gives us a feeling that we are actually in a World Cup. Now, so we've not seen too many banners, we've not seen too many advertisements running around, but then this is what shows us that the World Cup is here in our own country, and if nobody is doing things, then we need to do it ourselves. And this is a great initiative from the loyal fans trying to unite the entire fan base of Indian football for one common cause, that is for supporting your own the youngest footballers in the country who will be playing for your own nation. And nothing beats it when you know that you've got people traveling from all over the country, all over, coming to watch you and support these guys. It just blows my mind away to understand that what we've heard about footballing culture abroad is happening in India as well.
Yeah, it's slowly building up. Well, the discussion will continue, but we need to slip into a short break, and once we come back, we'll definitely continue on this, because Group A, and we need much more time to talk about it. So let's get into a short break.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
Well, and we are back again after a short break, continuing the discussion of talking about Group A for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, where our beloved country, the 21 boys representing representing Indian team in the World Cup, along with USA, Colombia, and Ghana. It's the same group playing in Delhi. So we shall talk about how this group looks like. Yes, it is a tough team. India being the debutants, along with when the other three are champions in their own way and have done well in the past. So Kevin, if we start with you, looking at the squad of the Indian team or the way they have done in the recent past, how do you rate them, or where would you like to see them?
So this team has been assembled over 2 years, and it's not an easy task to first of all get into something that has not happened before, because it's the first time that we are looking at hosting a World Cup where we had absolutely no background. You didn't know where to start off with. So increasingly difficult was that point to pick up. You start picking up your players from. So the online scouting system was also introduced midway, and that helped get a couple of players from holding Indian passport holders, obviously not residing in India. So they that method helped us get at least 2 or 3 players into the finals. Point out, I think this Deshpande is one of them, and one of the goalkeepers. I think it's so Sunny. I believe he was also part of that online scouting network.
He's a Toronto FC goalkeeper. Yeah, he's part in that academy.
Yeah. So you just see the the widespread reach that India had to look out for the players to finally arrive at these 21. So coming again to the narrowing down to your players, it's a whole wide way to start off, and it's not easy in the first place to get down to what you actually field in the World Cup. Every other team has at least some background to having at least played before, because India is one of those 3 teams that have never made it to the World Cup, and we do qualify as being as a host. So looking at defenders over here, one name that does stand out, and the entire country will be watching is Stalin. This guy is lethal. With his free kicks, I'm actually quite surprised that he did not get the captain's armband, and I was looking forward to him seeing him as a leader in the pack. But sometimes it's not the performance on the field; it's how you get the team together. Also comprising as a characteristics for the captain. So not a bad thing for Stalin to not lead via being the captain, but I'm sure he's the leader from the back. So he's the man to watch out for. If you have to pick out 3 players who will stand out from this World Cup, so Stalin is one of them, and definitely Boris will outshine all other players because he's shown some great skill at the back. And I'm also looking forward to obviously Komal Tatar. He's there all over, and being in the midfield, you can see him dominate the ball from whatever position he is in. And in the forward line, it was a bit of surprise to see just 2 players being picked up in the forward line, but that just gives you an understanding that India is not going to go with 2 strikers. It's going to be those wingers or that come into play, and we've seen those crosses that are sent in, and Aniket Jadhav and Rahim Ali will be the 2 target men up front. So if I have to pick 3, so Stalin is number 1 for me. Then Boris is another one, and Aniket Jadhav is the 3rd guy whom I will have my eyes pinned on.
Yeah. So look, Chiranjeev before Chiranjeev could come in, Kevin, to sum up the whole thing, who do you see, or who do you want to see topping this group, and what are your thoughts on the whole group?
Yeah, overall, it looks like USA is going to dominate this group by far, and Ghana, given their prior experience in the tournament, they look like usually taking the 2nd place. But you never know. Colombia can surprise, and India will be battling for that. India won't surprise. India will shock if it happens.
Yeah.
So it has to be somewhere between Ghana might not hitting their best, and probably Colombia taking it. But most likely it's going to be one way with USA in the group.
Okay. Now you can come in with your point.
Yeah, well, I think USA will top the group. Colombia will be, I don't know, I think it's a toss-up between Colombia and Ghana at who the 3rd and 2nd teams will be. Obviously, there's no need to discount India. They may actually cause a huge amount of upset just by how they play against a certain team. I think one of the things that India will be judged after this tournament is that whether or not the 3rd team, if India finish the bottom, whether or not the 3rd team gets to the 2nd round. Okay, so it might come down to a situation where how we defend against some of these teams. Ghana has really good strikers. Same with Colombia. How we fare against some of these attacking sides will determine our stature at the end. So no matter what happens, we should not allow the 3rd team or the 2nd team to have such a good goal difference or something like that they get to go to the 2nd round. Okay, we should at least kill one giant in that way. Okay. So I don't know if India can be at this point a proper competition against Ghana. Again, Ghana is one of the top African teams at this point. So it's going to be a super challenge. How do you counter a situation like that? We're literally going to be the shortest in terms of physical stature in this group. Okay, we will be having the physical disadvantage, the stamina disadvantage. I'm gonna guess because Colombia, USA, Ghana. I don't think anybody will be surprised by the Delhi weather in October. Okay, it's gonna be pretty reasonable for them. Even US has warm areas which the players will be used to. Ghana and Colombia, no way they're gonna get any kind of surprise. So yeah, I think it's gonna be very tough. We're gonna look at obviously Komal. We're gonna be looking at Suresh Singh Wangjam. He's been pretty good as well. Abhijit Sarkar, the Bengali kid, got into the game late, but he's also pretty decent over here. Shaurya Bhagat, he's the guy from Jharkhand, scored 8 goals in 13 appearances. That's pretty good. He's sort of flown under the radar for a while. We've got Jackson. I want to see him. I don't know if he will get much of a game time, but I was a bit curious about his playing style over here. Who else? Boris. Boris does not get enough credit. Okay, the way he sort of has his stout presence in the back. I think we're gonna maybe we will see India just go for it. Like not against USA, but the coach, the Louis Norton de Matos, he's gonna pick one team. Okay, one out of either Ghana or Colombia. It's going to be most probably be Ghana. He's gonna pick one team and go all out because India needs to put on one show as the host, and for the home audience. So one game at least where we will see a full-on attacking display. Maybe that day we will have 3 defenders. Maybe we'll play a 3-4-3 or something like that. So we're definitely going to see some spark from this team. Let be assured that even though we finish at the bottom of the group, simply because we have not had, we didn't get lucky enough to draw New Caledonia or teams like that, but we are going to give a few moments which we will look back on and maybe we will be able to build on going into the future. So do not, there is no reason to be like, to feel inferior or not confident or sort of, have your head down going into this, because this is in the end, under-17 football is about gathering experience so that you can deliver for the senior national team, right? And this is just the first step these boys are taking. So yeah, be there with them no matter what. That's what in the end what fans are supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that brings us to the end, and just before we say goodbyes, just saying that on the opening days when India plays, of course, on the 6th of October, we first play USA, and then we play Colombia on the 9th of October, and finally Ghana on the 12th of October. So let's see, the first test is against USA. Let's see how our boys do it against them, and then going ahead, how they will perform in the group. That was Group A, guys, where India is playing, as you can Kevin both firmly said that we need to show our support, and that's definitely what fans need to do. Get back behind the boys and boost their confidence, cheer for them. And I think this is not only just for Indian football fans. Hosting a World Cup of something at level is a top level tournament. I think irrespective of you're a fan or not of the sport, as hosts we need to be excited and very much behind the team. and cheer for them. I think it's going to be a great exposure for these boys. And also, not to forget that after this tournament, they should be forgotten, that all your eyes should be on these boys, how they perform and what learnings they take from here. And with that, we say goodbye from wherever we are at the moment and wherever we'll be. Hopefully, everyone enjoys this whole tournament, and we will as well. And we'll bring you all the updates about this mega event. It's finally kicking in, right, guys? Crazy stuff. If you did like the show, please show us that through all the likings on our YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon to get updates for a new episode. Leave your comments below in the comment section and let us know what you think about this group and your thoughts on the India playing against these big teams. Also for the TFG football to the handle, where you get updates about everything Indian football and specifically right now about the FIFA World Cup. That's all, guys. You can also talk to us directly. Chiranjeev Toja, _Kevin1994. Have a great day, guys. For all the updates, get on the website of fangirls.com. Cheers.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started atkt.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through atkt.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. atkt.in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.